Well, hello everybody. It's Wednesday night, and we had to do the home version because um, everything at the shop didn't work. So I decided to come on here and let me plug this in. I think this will work better for a microphone and see what we got going on. See if anybody's out there. Not so much so far, but that's to be expected. Okay, close that here. Is anybody? Oh, I can hear. At zero. Hey, zero. Yeah, we're gonna. I don't know what we left the shop, and um, I decided to pop on here for a little bit, stuff like that. Um, no, you didn't. You didn't miss nothing. The internet at the shop again was crap, probably because of just the internet and the hot weather and whatever. But we're here. Crash Roadrunner's here also. Thank you, sir. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. His name looks odd, not in blue, yeah. But you're still here, so it's let's do this. I don't usually go. I usually go through StreamYard, and this is setup's a little different. So, Nathan McCree, what's going on? Thanks for being here. So we got 4 or 5 guys here already. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, it was it was weird because they would both break off at we'd get 4 minutes in and it would die. Reboot. Get everything set up, do thumbnail, all that kind of stuff. Get in 4 minutes and boom, it would die. And then reset everything again, take 2 thumbnails, set in, boom, it would die. So Jeff Hutchins, did Tony touch something? Probably during the day. But it was, I don't know, it was weird. There's some kind of electronic ghoul that lives in that shop because it's had air conditioner problems the whole time. And they're like the little split ones, the ones you just and never give you anybody any problems. Like tonight, it would the fan wasn't kicking on, and we finally got the fan to go on, and it was like dripping water down the wall and stuff like that. So here we are, and let's see. The way I usually do lives, like on Monday night, I have. Let me put this in the chat. And your picks to and let's see if we can pin this. We can pin that message. All right, cool. So that's what's pinned at the top, and then what usually happens on the Monday night shows, it's I have people send in pictures of their whatever they're working on, their cars and stuff like that, and then we share them and look at them and all that kind of stuff. Bob's Shop. I missed the other one tonight. Well, you didn't miss much, Bob. We were there's electronic difficulties over there, so Jeff Hutchins, I may have to get a 1995 Ram 3500 V10 ECM ECU repaired. Who do you recommend? Jeff, I don't know anybody off the top of my head. There's various places on eBay and stuff like that do the 95s. Unfortunately, there's not a lot I can do with it. It was a 96 6 and up, you could program them, but a 95, you just gotta have to send it in so they can open it up and replace the caps that are leaking and busted and melted and all that kind of stuff, and that usually takes care of it. But that's a printed board that's machined onto a piece of metal, so it's not something like, like a video game board, where it's easy to just replace components and things like that. So, um, best luck on the eBay for all the people that repair those. I would say, don't really have a better suggestion than that. So anyway, yeah, usually people send in their photos, and then somehow they share the screen, which I have here, the ability to. I don't know if it's actually going to work, but there you go. So what's going on with you guys? Just popped in here, see if I could pick up a little views for the new channel here, things like that. Little views, a little time. Any news on your channel being fixed? I'm sub to this one. No one actually got to talk to through Sure Persistence and membership in Google One Plus. Talked to Google support, and they went through and did all the normal stuff, and then some extra tricks and stuff like that to get it back. But the way it was hacked, it seems to be unretrievable at the minute. The old YouTube channel seems to be eviscerated, unfortunately, so I don't think anything's going to happen with that. You go onto the paper help like the Fiverr and things like that, and there's some guys that say they can recover it through some hacking hardware. But then I'm kind of just back to where I started. So TBA, because if I can you have to get the Gmail back, and then everything can go from there. But everything I've tried so far to get the Gmail back is gone. Everything I try to reference to getting to the old channel is gone. All the old links and stuff like that are just gone. So we'll see what happens. Maybe this week, next week, I may end up having to sublet it to some choppers and some hackers somewhere to hack the hackers to get my email back, because I'd like to get the email back. I mean, everything was there. Everyone contacted me. I tried to because there's a guy I get coffee from, and the only way I could contact him was through email. So my good coffee guy is gone. So I got to try to get a hold of him somehow, because it's good stuff. Jeff Hutchins, 10-4, had a 96 Cherokee done, obviously different, weird year, OBD2 years ago, and they're still around. And do those older ones. I'll use them again. They did a good job. Yeah, if you have somebody that's reliable and actually somebody, and you're not just shipping your edgy computer off to somewhere in space and sending it to an actual guy or stuff like that, yeah, that's obviously a good thing. Yeah, and the 96s were a weird year. Yeah, they were 1 year only. For the JTEC, yeah, the JTEC is a Jeep truck engine computer. That's where it gets its name. Very rudimentary. 97s, 98 were a little bit better. 99 and up, or the JTEC Plus, they're even a little bit more better. They have a few more features, but still kind of program the same pretty basic stuff. So. But I was going through some old files and stuff. Let me see if I can pull something up here that we can talk about. Dun, dun, dun. Documents. Downloads. Yeah, because there's some stuff from years ago. All those, videos and stuff are gone. And So it would be nice to get some of that stuff back, get some of the much of the content and all the how-tos and all the engine builds and everything else that was on there. Where is that? And I want to see if this works for fun here. Share screen. Window. Share. There you go. Yeah, stuff like this, like the old. This is the 302 that's in the Turbo Falcon. You know, that whole build was on the old channel and stuff like that, so that's all gone and whatnot. All this stuff, yeah, this car stuff, that guy's gone. All the build stuff, all the old photos. Yeah, that's a happy photo there. This is what the Ranger looked like when it was just done and painted. It looked real nice. It's kind of beat up now. It's gone through a few wars and things like that since then, but that was after it was just painted, and that was rattle can Rust-Oleum, so that's not so bad. Jeff Hutchins, diagnosing a no start. Go to channel placement. I'm just see. Okay. Diagnosing a no start. Ran when parked. Fuel pump was dead. Replaced it. Works. Now the starter is dead. I think it's got lost OEM cam crank sensors, but the universe might not need them. But now can you, if you got your fuel pump going, can you jump the starter and get it to fire off? Because if it's it's randomly losing a channel or stuff like that, you could bypass the crank signal when you hit the key that the ECU puts out to the starter with just a 12 volt to the skinny wire on the starter solenoid if it's got that later model deal on it, and fire the thing off. Might be an option for you. Pedal car, never did that. It's the turbo motor that's in the Falcon. When I'm kind of mocking up the hot side on the engine stand. Receipt. There's that guy. There's the Mustang and the wife. There's a 65 Falcon. That was a whole set of, will it run videos and things like that. 6th Street Garage. Welcome. Oh yeah, we're just getting it to testing it for spark when the starter died. Yeah. See if you can jump the starter or pop a new starter in it, and maybe it's just the solenoid just died on it a little bit. So airplanes, and I don't know what these photos are. So here's the turbo motor in the Falcon when I first popped it in there. Yeah, a lot of these are just random photos. So we're just clicking through. All right, we could stop sharing. There we go. Anyway, I don't know, just trying to stir up some conversation, things like that. Let's check the inbox. All right, that's cool. I'll see if there's anything else worth seeing in these old pictures here. New starter on the way after getting ready to pull the trans to fix a front. Honestly, like, yay! Oh yeah. So yeah, you got a project that's kicking your butt. Let's see. And what about this one here? Let's start here. This is kind of, I mean, since we're just killing time here, window. Just when I built the hot side turbo system for the Falcon, here's the, basically you get the flange with the studs and this little Y thing underneath here for your two pipes to go in, and you set that up on for your turbo. I think that's a T4 on a T3 with a T3 adapter, which I was going to use a T3 turbo, but then I changed at the last minute. There's kind of a mock-up of some brackets I was thinking about using. Modified it slightly. That's the that's the bigger turbo that got put on it. I had a smaller one that actually fit better, but then I figured that turbo was too small. Bob's Chop Shop, did you make your own blow-through carb for that? I had one for it, but then I ended up putting a Phytech on it, which worked really, really well, and it's still on the car. And this has been 7 years, so it works fine. Buddy Carfino, what's the best way to keep a battery charged in a car that sits a lot? Just like Jeff said, battery tender. That's what I got on all my stuff when it sits. I just got little tiny cables running everywhere. Just gives it a trickle. So if it has some parasitic loss and stuff like that, not if it has a straight drain, but just to keep the battery topped off and happy and from calcifying and shorting out. More pictures of the mock-up. This is obviously had a dirty mock-up motor in there. And and you too can build your own turbo system. Yay, for $40 or whatever it was. That's some tabs I welded, and that's like the front of the car facing forward. That's where the intercooler sits on. Ended up having to use a smaller intercooler. Bob's Chop Shop. Okay, I played with a Phytech and it didn't work very well. The one I got, it was quirky at first. Then I did a firmware update on it, and it's hop in it, hit the key, and it goes. There's a buddy of mine, 69 Mustang. We did some transmission work for him. And there's some more fabrication, all for naught because this big intercooler would not fit behind the grill. Don't know what motor that was. Yeah, I think that was that $50 302 I did. There's some turn signal stuff for a Crown Vic. Yep. Or a Mustang, one of the two. Yeah, this black turbo Mustang, another buddy of mine. Headlights are all burned out, so I redid his dash with the headlight harness and the switch and stuff like that. There's some alleged burnout marks from someone trying this Mustang out. Oh, man, what Mustang was this? I don't know. A blue one. Oh, I think I had this. Did I have this car for like a week or two? I think I might have. I think it looks familiar. I think I had this car for like a week or two. Fix some stuff on it. And this is the rear letter bar setup on the Falcon. Some whatever length letter bar is in an 8/8 and an pinion angle and stuff like that, but not on. This is just an 8/8 with a on leaf springs on the Ranger. This was start of the turbo motor. Trying to figure out where I could drain the oil drain into the pan. And that's the short block with the heads placed on it and pan on just for measurement and clearance issues. Here you can see where we added the turbo drain. Buddy Carfino, are drilled and slotted rotors worth changing to on a 13 Raptor? I think so. Especially if you're using them a lot, you get big tires and they get real hot. It does help prevent brake fade. Bob's Shop, how does the Phytech hold up to the ACE system you were selling? People have problems with both, to be fair. And it usually comes down to not following the installation instructions or not understanding how to wire a vehicle and what that all entails. I would say the Phytech is something that the ACES system just dead copied. And through, I don't think the ACES system is really worth all it was supposed to be cracked up to be. These aluminum heads, these are some skip white aluminum Chinesium heads with some valve and spring work to them. I'm pleasantly pleased with them for what I paid for them. They got that dual bolt pattern thing like on the, what were those early Mustang heads? I forget, but same thing. There's one of the Mustangs again. Back to these photos again. So let's see what else we got. We can take a look at here. Just more random stuff. And it's me just playing show and tell for you folks. So you guys want to pop in or tell me to knock it off, or either way. This is again the Falcon, and when you take out the leaf springs, you got to have something to mount the coilovers to. This is the bar that goes from frame to frame on the side of the back. The coilovers are mounted on tabs, forward facing, through advice of a chassis builder, because there wasn't really much room to build them rear facing because of the tank. And then the roll bar attaches right to there in the back. So and this was putting the well, they had some nice door panels before I hacked them up. Welding the cage into the Falcon. This is a 62. Yeah, it's all the Fords, all the Mustangs, and all the Falcons use the gas tank as a trunk floor. Yeah, it's pretty. I don't know if it's genius or it's ridiculous, but either way. This was a 62 Falcon. A buddy of mine lives in a couple of towns south of here. He actually pulled this out of a hayfield, literally pulled it out of a field. And he wanted to put it all back together and make it running. So this was kind of like an after photo. Okay. These are not what I was going after, but okay. Here's the garage. Just trying to get to the rest of the Falcon photos. This was a miscellaneous Camaro I had for about a week. There's a cookie. These are all thumbnails from old videos. It's all work stuff. Miscellaneous Falcon, miscellaneous. Yeah, all right, never mind. Enough of that. So that's about a half an hour, guys. Just came in to see who was all out there creeping around and see what's going on. So we're probably going to wrap this up here. But I appreciate you guys stopping in on an unscheduled Wednesday night live on the channel. The boat looked fun. Well, it wasn't my boat, so I'm not going to take credit for that. That was not mine. I don't even know where that picture came from. Could have been a buddy's boat or something like that. I really don't remember. Sent you email pic, Jeff Hutchins. Let's see if it's came in. Not yet, sir. We'll wait a few minutes here. See what goes on. Yeah, that's the right email address that I typed in there. You know, I wasn't losing my mind completely. Waiting for the electrons to show up in Tennessee. Okay. John T01. Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. Yeah. We're waiting another minute or so for Jeff's picture to come in here, and if it doesn't come here, we'll sign off. But hopefully you can see it. I wanted to see what he sent me here. Nope, nothing yet, Jeff. Well, we'll give another minute or so. Your pics. But well, all right, guys. Join me for my regular Monday night live, which is 7 p.m. Central Time, same channel. Appreciate you guys showing up. Sorry about your pick, Jeff. If I see it, I'll comment on it and send you a return email. But I'm going to cut this one off for tonight. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you later.